Hello and welcome to another episode of the Football History Boys podcast with me, Ben Jones, and as always, my right-hand man, Gareth Thomas.
It's a pleasure to be back.
Today we're going to do a Wonder Kids special in light of recent Champions League performances and with the League Cup coming up this week. But first of all, we're going to have a little look at what's been going on in the football news. So what has been going on, Gareth?
We had an old episode really where we mentioned VAR. We said when we did our season preview, VAR would be probably a common topic. It is a common topic still this weekend in the Premier League. It's come up again with ruling out goals, with offsides, various things like that. It's just been all over the place, isn't it? VAR, what are you thinking?
It's a very tough one. Depends on who you support and what's happened to your team, I think. So when Tuesday, Liverpool-Napoli, I felt we were a bit hard done by a penalty decision that went against us. And they said it wasn't clear and obvious, but to me it probably was. And to the commentators, they said it was. But to the man in the van, it wasn't. Yeah, I don't know. With the offside, I'm fine with. I don't care about if you're a millimetre off. I think you're off. But yeah, I think some calls have been a little bit strange.
Yeah, and I think that's the one that's getting people, isn't it? There was a weird one. The second one was in the Liverpool game, wasn't there? With Mason Mount was offside. Now, he was clearly offside.
Yeah.
Yet people were not happy because they're saying, how far back are we going or whatever. He's offside.
He's only a bit offside.
Yeah, he's offside. The problem was with the Song Heung-min one, wasn't it? Yeah. With Tottenham, where his shoulder was offside. And so it makes a very good point. Where does a shoulder become an arm? That's the difficulty. And so when we were talking about it beforehand, I think maybe what needs to happen is they look at the offside laws. I don't think it's a VAR problem. I think it's an offside. And if there is a problem, it's with the offside law. And maybe what they need to do if they're bringing in technology is we talk about just your feet. And it's what I said before. Just your feet are what makes you offside.
But when does a foot become a leg?
Well, it's true. You could do boots, yeah, I guess, isn't it? And your boots are easier to define than the rest of
I don't think there's anything wrong with it, to be honest, at the moment. I think Tottenham fans or people who like Tottenham are just getting annoyed because their team.
But I'm sure you'd be annoyed as well if it was with Liverpool with a shoulder blade.
But I wouldn't, because it's offside. If you're offside, you're offside.
Yeah. I do get some people's arguments who say, offside law was originally brought in to prevent goal hanging, and this is now obviously taken to the other extreme. But again, the problem is not VAR. The problem is now that we can just see everything. How can you not give it?
Yeah.
How can something not now be given because we know that it's offside?
For me, VAR, it's not offside. It's more for things like penalties. So I think there's been quite a few that could have been given in games which haven't been recently. I feel that probably should be overturned, which haven't.
Yeah.
And I think there's a reluctance for the video officials to go against the referee on the pitch. They don't want to undermine him. And then it comes out in the news, didn't it? I think Mike Ryan or something said there's been 4 incorrect calls.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and that's the difficulty. Is this high bar they've set? I've had a couple of conversations recently with people about, VAR's wrong. They can't just solve it that one referee on 1 week goes, we're going to change this. It'd have to be a decision across the Premier League where they go, we're going to drop the level, because the Premier League set a very high bar, different to the Champions League, different to La Liga, different to the MLS, all the different leagues. The Premier League said the on-field referee makes the decision. If he says he's seen it in his little earpiece to the bloke in the VAR box, then VAR can't get involved.
Yeah, I think what Premierships is lacking is that Serie A, La Liga, Bundesliga have all used it already for a year, so they're already used to it.
Yeah.
Premier League, bit silly not going for it straight away, wanting to do things their own way as always. And
I think everyone expects it to be perfect, and it's never going to be perfect initially. We're going to have to get used to it. So, yeah, I think maybe they need to look at how much they use it and when they bring it in.
But, yeah, interestingly, they used it they're using it now in the group stage Champions League. They didn't last year, did they? But they're using it now. So that brings us on to the Champions League. First week of performances, what were your standout performances?
Standout for me was the goal show on BT Sport.
We talked about it, didn't I?
We talked about it last time. I've never seen it before. It was unbelievable. I watched it on Tuesday. So good.
And they're proper experts, aren't they?
Yeah.
So it's good having Honigstein talking about German football rather than Paul Merson. No offense, Paul Merson, but he actually knows. He actually watches it every week.
Yeah.
Because there's been times where I've watched Gillette Soccer Saturday or something, and they've talked about a foreign player, and I'm thinking they haven't got a clue. Yeah. It's just all guesswork. But yeah,
Jeff Stelling's often very on the money, isn't he? But some of the others sometimes you question.
Well, yeah, Stelling's he's a journalist, isn't he? Compared to ex-players.
No, I thought it was very good. I think there was some very good performances. Obviously, some sort of shocks, maybe the fact that Real Madrid was so poor.
Yeah, it's sort of shocking, but the most shocking was that PSG didn't have Mbappe, Cavani, or Neymar on their team.
Yeah,
and they still
smashed
battered them.
Devastated. Gareth Bale's goal didn't count as well. Obviously, again, the correct decision by the new laws.
Heck of a goal, mind you. But
unbelievable, and it just his celebration of have a bit of that really, and then obviously ruled out, which is a bit of a shame.
The best game for me of the 2 days was the Atletico Madrid Juventus game, 2-2. I actually had the goal show on my laptop, and I had the Atletico game on my Xbox, so I actually watched that one. That was really good, high quality. Both those teams are going far into the tournament. One of the shocks for me was probably Bayer Leverkusen losing to Lokomotiv Moscow.
Yeah.
And Red Bull Salzburg sticking 6 on Genk. I mean, I know Genk aren't the best, but
that was madness on the goal show. They had to keep going back to it, didn't they? They showed so much of it, obviously. Just
I think it was 5-1 at half time, wasn't it? Yeah. Alf-Inge Haaland's son, excellent.
Unbelievable.
What an incredible stats he's on this season. He's got 17 goals already.
And what was that? So his fourth hat-trick? Start of September. Ridiculous.
Yeah, so...
Ridiculous.
I mean, Liverpool and Napoli will go through that group comfortably, but I mean, it means Salzburg will offer Liverpool maybe a couple of more questions than first thought. Valencia beating Chelsea at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, and obviously the bit of a mess with the penalty at the end there. Ross Barkley taking it. Lampard saying he is the designated penalty taker, so fair play. But then obviously Willian and Jorginho both try to take it off him, and it all got a bit messy. And whenever someone tries to take a penalty or so, when it tends to be that the player then goes on and misses, isn't it? The penalty anyway. So obviously that blew it.
What else we got? Tottenham throwing away a 2-goal lead against Olympiacos. And Man City winning 3-0 against Shakhtar Donetsk.
Yeah, waltzed through, but we said we expected that, and only Premier League team to win though. I think that's a good thing. I think it shows it's really competitive so far. That first match day.
Yeah, second match day then. Just before we move on to the main thing of the podcast, big games for that are Tottenham against Bayern Munich at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. That'll be a really good game.
That'd be a cracker.
So like Juventus, Bayern Leverkusen, that might be okay. Barcelona into Milan at the new camp. That'll be a good game. So they're the 2 games. Fortunately, on opposite days, so you'll be able to watch both. But I'll be watching the goal show again, I'm sure. So there you go. Right, so we did mention there Haaland.
Yes.
Scoring for Salzburg, and also the Atletico Madrid game saw João Felix playing for Atletico Madrid.
Hotly tipped.
He looked very good from what I saw. Dribbles the ball. Excellent. I think they're definitely going to be 2 players to watch out for in the future. So that brings us nicely then to the main theme of this week's podcast. All about Wonder Kids, because a couple of weeks ago, when we were recording the podcast, I saw an old Match magazine which had Young Guns on the front. Match reveals the planet's hottest Wonder Kids from 2006. So we thought we'd have a look through there, see what happened to some of these players, and also we thought we'd ask the listeners what they thought about Wonder Kids.
Yeah, everyone loves a Wonder Kid, don't they? Everyone who plays sort of Foot Manager or FIFA or just watches their local club loves to see a Wonder Kid come through. Obviously, Ricardo, from me, was Aaron Ramsey at the age of 16, thinking this kid's going to be good, and obviously he is good. He's very good.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd ask some opinions. So I put a question out. Wonder Kids who made it, Wonder Kids who didn't make it, and a tip for the future. Okay.
Have you got one for yourself as well?
Tip for the future.
Have you got one of each for yourself?
Yeah, I do.
I'll come in with one as well.
Okay, fine. Let's go through some opinions. Wonder Kids who didn't make it. James Cartwright, one of our good friends, he came up with some good ones, actually, some very spot on.
I can see him now, yeah.
James Vaughan, obviously youngest ever Premier League scorer.
Oh, yeah.
Freddy Sears, another very hotly tipped and didn't have, and apparently he said that on one of the FIFAs sort of 10 or so years ago, John Fleck got to 97 potential.
John Fleck?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know who he is?
Played for Sheffield United, I think. Played for Rangers for a bit.
I've seen him on FIFA, actually.
Yeah, Fleck, definitely hasn't hit that. Jordan Smith said Henri Saivet, who was FM 2011.
This is a great name, fair play.
Yeah, who went to play for Newcastle and definitely hasn't lived up to it, but 2011 Football Manager 2011 turns out to be brilliant. We had a few saying Michael Johnson, do you remember him from Man City?
The 400 metre runner?
No.
Oh, the footballer. Sure.
I mean, it says, sadly, for Michael Johnson, that when you type in Michael Johnson on Google, the 400 metre runner comes up. So Dan Burr said him, and we had a couple of others for him. Joe Cable, Rhys Williams, there's a couple here. Freddie Adu, who comes with a second probably. Boyan, obviously, was hotly tipped for Barca.
Yeah, him in the next one.
Giovanni Dos Santos, playing for LA Galaxy, I think he is now. He's
done well there, and he's exited for Mexico, isn't he? But he never made it for Barca.
Renato Sanchez, obviously, he's quite a recent one. He went to Swansea, and everyone was saying...
Terrible move.
Yeah, saying, could be brilliant sign for Swansea. Obviously, the season they got relegated. Had a couple of others. Richie Wright, brilliant for Ipswich. This from Tom Goddard, and then Arsenal got hold of him.
That Ipswich team from 2001, they were 2001. Yeah, they were incredible. They came fifth in the Premiership when they just got promoted. George Burley as the manager, Marcus Stewart up front. They had a really Titus Bramble at the back with Herman Hreiderson. They had a great team, and this following season, I think a few players must have left, and they got relegated. But shame because they had a really good team.
Andy Campbell, Reece Crabtree, your friend Reece Crabtree, said on Facebook, one for me. Andy Campbell, he was he's obviously brilliant for Cardiff City. He got us promoted to the Championship in I think 2003 with a playoff extra time goal against QPR, but was tipped to be something more special than that. One that caused debate actually. Dylan on Twitter said Lewin Nyatanga,
the Welsh one,
dubbed to go and play for Barcelona. Ends up rotting at Derby County. Then we had some Derby County fans having a go.
It's a great name, though, isn't it?
Yeah. And so, final one here from Tom Passmore. He's got two. Gael Kakuta. He was tipped to be huge when
he's the one who started all the transfer embargoes, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah, of course. Yeah. And he was brilliant. I signed him on Football Manager, actually, and he's superb for me. And he didn't work out. And he's a De La Fey. A friend got told at a restaurant by a restaurant owner in Barcelona that he'd be the next Messi. And yeah, everyone sort of felt similar about
he scored a great goal in the FA Cup semi-final last season, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, and it's not worked out for him really, is it? I mean, it's not to the extent of where he was supposed to be.
No way.
So my one I would add to this is another Welshman, Darcy Blake, who was tipped to be superb, and sadly for him, really, circumstances outside of football, lots have gone on in his life.
Yeah,
but he was tipped to be huge. He played for Wales very young, played for Cardiff very young, was excellent, and it just didn't work out. And I think he's now playing sort of. Part-time rugby now. He's changed sports, playing part-time rugby and doing a part-time job, elsewhere outside of football. So it's quite a sad one for him. Who's your wonder kid who didn't make it?
My wonder kid who didn't make it. Well, the obvious one is Freddy Adu in America. Yeah. Tipped to be the next Pele when he was 14.
Signed a massive contract with Nike,
and then just didn't make it. I'm not sure why. Just didn't. I'll have to probably look into that a bit more. But my other one, more close to home. One for me, it's going to be a Liverpool player because that's probably what I know most about. Mark Gonzalez, remember him?
Yes. Yeah.
Signed him in, I think, 2006. Yeah. I think they signed him actually early and then he came later on. He was tipped to be a really good Chile player. I think he played quite a few times for Chile and went to the World Cup and things. Yeah. But for Liverpool, he's now quite made it, and he was tipped to be one of the best, and he just never hit those heights.
But Liverpool have had a few, haven't they, over the years? Sadly, all clubs have, but just no.
Benitez was quite good actually for getting the young players, but a lot of them just didn't seem to make it at all.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah,
interestingly, in terms of wonder kids, just thinking, obviously, I can't say his name because he's under the age of 18 significantly, but my friend who teaches in a school in Cardiff taught a boy who ended up going to play for Barcelona, and he's currently in the Barcelona Academy. So he was 7 at the time, spotted playing for this for Cardiff City, but also for the school in Cardiff by Barcelona. However, there were scouts there, and he was taken out to Barcelona at the age of sort of 8. So I think he's now about probably 10, 11. Yeah. So I wonder if he makes it one day, because he's very much going to be one of them. Maybe there'll be a documentary about Cardiff school producing a...
Yeah, that's made me think actually. Dale Jennings. Dale Jennings went to Bayern Munich a few years ago from Tranmere. He's meant tipped to be the next big thing, and he's not. He's
no,
not.
I don't know.
No, you don't know Dale Jennings?
No.
Oh, mate, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, Wonder Kids who made it.
Sure,
this is slightly more straightforward. Jordan Smith, Wayne Rooney, fair shout.
Yeah, classic.
Massive Wonder Kids.
The good thing, I mean, comparing him and James Vaughan, who both started at Everton, both scored at 16, was Rooney was looked and had the body of a 35-year-old at the time, whereas James Vaughan didn't. So yes. Rooney was ready straight away for the Premier League.
And stepped up, didn't he? Was it first Champions League game for United? He scored a hat-trick.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah, unbelievable. We had a couple of those. Lots of people said Fabregas. Concept Kits said Fabregas on Twitter, and More Than a Game 66, our friend who always gives us a little Arsenal shout out, said Fabregas. He said he's gutted that he didn't bring him back to Arsenal after obviously he went to Barca. Tom Parsons said Vincent Kompany, buying him on Football Manager since I was 18. Since Kompany he was a lot younger and obviously kicked on and made it.
Don't step on too many of these now. He's in this magazine.
Yeah. For me, I say I quite like Yuri Tielemans, who's now obviously at Leicester, and I think he will kick on further.
Well, because he'd had quite a bit of negative press, hasn't he, before he joined Leicester, because he was this player with massive potential. He wasn't fulfilling it, but he's starting to show now what he can do.
Because he was always class on FIFA and Football Manager. He was always high potential. I always signed Tielemans to the point of I didn't know what he looked like in real life. I knew what his FIFA face looked like. So it's weird now seeing him in the Premier League, but he's had a very good start to the season. And him and Maddison sort of in that creative midfield.
Maddison.
Well, Maddison, another one. Absolutely massive tip for the future, definitely, because I think Maddison is someone who was signed from Norwich, wasn't he? A lot of money. People thought, will he make the step up? And he's just over a season and 2 months into his Premier League career, and he's been phenomenal.
He's very good.
Phenomenal.
Yeah,
good goal on the weekend. Other tips for the future. John Smith said Eddie Nketiah at Arsenal. Obviously,
I signed him off at manager for my last year's one. For my who was I managing off? I don't know, but whoever I was managing signed him for the team, and he did pretty well on there.
Yeah, he's at Leeds, isn't he? I think on loan. He'll have a very good season. Good for players to go on loan to the Championship. That's a whole different thought process, but it absolutely should go there. Tammy Abraham, obviously for him, it's worked out.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He's had a phenomenal start to the season.
Yeah, unbelievable. 7 goals in the first 4 games. Tom Parsons said Reece James. He loves Reece James. He's Chelsea defender. He said he could end up being a right back, a defensive midfielder, a centre midfielder, or a centre back. He has it, though. He has the quality to make it. Reece James, Frank Lampard likes him as well, and Tom seems to think that by the end of the season he'll be Chelsea's main man in defence.
My youngster tip is Jesse Lingard at Manchester United. Young English talent. But my tip will be. Actually, I don't really know. I haven't really thought enough about Wonder Kids. I don't know.
I think Wonder Kids find it hard to slip under the radar now, though, isn't it? Yeah. Because of the world of FIFA, where there's potential on there, and of course, football across the globe is now seen in such detail. I think it's hard for Wonder Kids to slip under the radar.
Ryan Brewster at Liverpool, he'll be good. That's my one.
Although he was supposed to kick on last season, didn't he?
He was injured. Okay. He was injured all season. He only came back.
I think he could do the loan, and the same with Harry Wilson. Actually, Harry Wilson's a very good one to look at. And Woodburn, yeah. Harry Wilson was, what is he now, 23?
Yeah, he's not a youngster anymore.
He's not a youngster anymore. When he started for Wales when he was 18, and everyone thought it'd be amazing.
16 he came
He stayed at Liverpool, didn't go out on loan anywhere, and obviously his career stagnated. Last season went on loan to Derby with Lampard and was brilliant, and has now obviously got the potential of
he didn't go out on loan, but I think he was the captain of the under-23, so he had the responsibility, but he needed that proper
experience. The same with Mason Mount. Obviously, he's had a fantastic start.
So fair play to Lampard.
I think that's why Lampard. Again, different conversation, but I think that's why Lampard's a brilliant appointment for Chelsea with their transfer ban, because I thought even on Sunday in that second half they stepped up a gear against Liverpool. They did put Liverpool under pressure.
Yeah,
they may have lost that game and they will lose more games this season, but I think potentially this year for them could be bringing through some of those players who end up being massive for Chelsea, so it could be a good season for them.
Maybe interesting to see how someone who scored in that game, Trent Alexander-Arnold, he's still only 21, I think.
Yeah,
he's got a huge
and looks so experienced already. Isn't he? Champions League finalist, unbelievable.
Champions League winner. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see, and I think the League Cup this week will be good to see some of these youngsters in action. Yeah. Europa League last week actually as well with Arsenal. Willock and Saka and scoring goals. So that, really.
And they need game time. I was listening to the 5 Live show yesterday with Mark Chapman hosting it. They were talking about Phil Foden and how does he need to go out on loan somewhere to get game time, or will he eventually break through? Obviously, he's behind, as they said on the show yesterday, 2 Man City legends in terms of David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne. To dislodge them, obviously David Silva's leaving the end of this year, so will Pep start to feed him in? Obviously, Pep
I think he probably will.
Probably going at the end of the year, but I imagine whoever's there next year will use Foden. But anyway, let's hear some of these match of the day, or is it Match Magazine?
Match Magazine, yeah. So, as I said last time, it's quite a good look at what a football world was like at the time. It's got about boots and things. It's got Mascherano and Tevez at West Ham to start with, which is quite interesting. There they are. But that was bonkers, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's near one.
That was a good deadline day. Right, let's have a look. Wonder Kids called Young Guns here. There's also a Craig Bellamy poster in here, and that's going to be a feature later. So it's Bellamy, isn't it? Right. Anyway, right. I'll say the names. You say what you say hit or miss.
Okay.
Should we do that?
Love that.
Yeah. Okay. And then we'll ask you why.
Right.
Okay. First up, strikers first. Super strikers. There's 3 players. First up, Lucas Podolski, 21 years old, Bayern Munich. Hit or miss?
Hit.
Yeah.
I think he was a hit. I think
World Cup winner.
Yeah, absolutely. He didn't do it quite as well for when he moved to the Premier League, did he? But
heck of a left foot as well.
Yes.
Amazing. Yeah, good player. Sergio Aguero.
This is my big shout.
18 here as well.
When he signed for Man City, I mean, it was not that good a shout because he was already very good. But I tweeted that he could be the greatest ever Premier League player on the day he signed, and I've still got that tweet favorited.
Just in case, right?
Just in case. I spelled Aguero wrong on it though, which is annoying.
How do you spell it? 2 R's.
I put the G in the
wrong place. 5 zeros on the end.
Yeah.
Aguero.
Superb. What player?
Okay, next up, probably the best player in this whole list, Nicholas Bentner. Birmingham City on loan there, age 18. It says Bentner looks like the business for Birmingham. He's on loan from Arsenal and scored 5 goals in his first 11 games, plus 2 for the Danish senior side. His top skill has been a one-on-one expert, which, ironically, if you've seen the recent video of him training, proves he's not a one-on-one expert.
However, he's a bit of a cult hero now in that way, isn't he? And that club, I can't even think who he signed for now, but they had run out of shirts with Bentner shirts. So
Copenhagen,
he does sell, that's it, Copenhagen. He does sell shirts wherever he goes.
He's done well for Denmark. I'll give you that.
He got in trouble, didn't he? He was for wearing paddy pants.
Yeah. But he's got, what do you reckon, hit or miss?
Oh, miss.
Yeah, he's definitely miss. Right, classic keepers. Okay, these are some interesting ones. Oscar Ustari.
Oh, he was always tipped.
Independiente, Argentina, 20 years old. He's tipped to be the best goalkeeper in the world. Well, hit or miss.
He didn't become the best goalkeeper in the world, did he?
It's going to have to be a miss. Sorry, Oscar. Next up, Igor Akinfeev.
Okay, yeah. I mean, he's a hit for Russia, isn't he? Maybe not hit on the world stage, but he's certainly
he's played a lot of games.
Russian legend, yeah.
He's just never left CSK Moscow.
No, fair play to him.
That's been his problem.
Yeah, of course. But I mean,
because he could have gone anywhere at the time.
Yeah.
So he probably, he's in the middle.
I think he's in the middle.
I think or miss.
I think if you're Russian, you're saying he's a hit, but.
Yeah, I made a couple of big mistakes in the World Cup 2014, I remember. Yeah. Right, next up we have Scott Carson. He says here, Charlton, England, age 21. He looks about 40.
Yes, he does.
He's obviously signed by Liverpool first, a teenager, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I'm not sure who he signed it from, but I remember he played against Juventus in the Champions League quarter-final.
Champions League winner?
Yeah, well, he's on the bench for the final. Hit or miss?
In terms of being a wonder kid who made it, it's a miss.
It's a miss, purely for that one game against Croatia.
Yes.
Ruined his career.
Yeah.
Right, there's the goalkeepers. So far we've got 2 hits and 4 misses.
Yeah.
Well, Akinfeev in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay. Speed Kings. These are good ones actually, because there's one that is an interesting one because they are a wonder kid who failed, but then they sort of come back with a resurgence. Okay. Theo Walcott.
Oh, that's a difficult one. I think to the quality that they're talking about Walcott there, I would say miss.
Yeah.
is this pre-World Cup? You said it's 2006.
Just after
the World Cup. So obviously he'd gone to that World Cup with Sven, didn't play, but was tipped to be a great. I mean, he's done very well. He's had a good career. When he retires, he'll be able to look back and tell his kids I had a good career.
Decent player.
Not world beater.
No, he had a couple of big moments, but
I'll put him in the middle again. Though.
Yeah, he's in the middle. Okay,
Ryan
Babel.
Again.
So this is the player I'm talking about who has had a bit of a resurgence recently.
Yeah, obviously
starts for Holland, scores for Holland.
Returned to the Premier League with his red hair for Fulham, didn't he?
Did quite well.
And did well, yeah. I scored a goal
side.
Relegated Cardiff, effectively.
Sorry, mate.
But, yeah, let's say that better. It was a lovely goal. I saw him play in the Europa League when I went to Anfield. One of the times I've been to Anfield, he scored.
Yeah. Trabzonspor, isn't it? Yeah,
Trabzonspor, that's it. So good memory. I think again in the middle.
He's in the middle, yeah. Daniel Sturridge, 17 years old, here for Man City.
I'm going to be harsh, I'm going to say miss. Because, again, he was tipped to be so much better. I think a miss because of injuries.
I'd say he's in the middle.
I think he's a miss because of injuries.
I think if Walcott's in the middle and Babel's in the middle and Sturridge, he's arguably, I think, had a better career than both of them.
I think he could have had a better career, though.
I think he could have definitely. They all could have had better careers, but I think he's in the middle as well. I don't think you can call him a miss.
Well, released from Liverpool, what's he doing now himself?
He's a Trabzonspor. There you go.
He's a miss.
How can he be a miss and Babel is a middle? And Babel plays in Turkey as well.
Just because I think of the English hype. Yeah, so it probably is in the middle. It's just I think he was talked about as like the next Alan Shearer or whatever, and
Walcott was the next Henry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jack Wilshere was better than Ramsey.
Yeah, he was.
And he wasn't.
But not. Yeah, there we go. Right, Demon Defenders, Vincent Kompany.
I love Kompany. I've said this. I've probably last three podcasts talk about Kompany. I love him. He's brilliant. So well spoken, but a phenomenal player. Obviously, that goal you can never take away from him. That goal to win them the title last season.
Yeah. Just a shame he's probably not as good as he could have been through injury. That's
but I think he's still a hit.
Yeah, he is. He's always definitely a hit.
Yeah,
100%.
And at times he was the best defender in the Premier League, without doubt.
Injuries are going to be a theme on this because the next one is Daniel Agger, 21 years old, Liverpool.
I still think hit.
Excellent player. And if he wasn't injured all the time, he would have been one of Liverpool's greatest ever centre backs.
Yeah, Champions League finalist.
Yeah, scored some wonder goals. Very similar to Kompany's goals, isn't he? Yeah.
How'd you never walk alone tattooed on his knuckles, isn't he?
Yeah, he's Liverpool.
I think he's a part-time tattooist, isn't he? I think he's got his tattoo licence. Right?
Yeah, he is actually. He was messed around by Brendan Rodgers, really, when he came to Liverpool. Yeah. Because he preferred Martin Skirl, and Saka, which, you know...
Maybe he's just a bit scared of Skirl. Yeah. Skirl was quite scary. So
he was.
Maybe just didn't want to tell he's dropped.
There you go. Right, so what was he? Hit. I'd say
I think hit. Yeah, okay. I think again, if you talk about when you're telling your kids when you're older, you say I had a good career.
Interested. Agger's a hit and Sturridge is a miss. I'm interested. Right, okay.
I just think Sturridge could have been so much better.
Is it because he scored in the last minute against Wales?
Oh, that was awful.
It was.
I was watching that with the kids in school as well. The kids were. I was in Wales. They were all supporting England. Oh, it was awful. Loads of them were. Loads of them were. Yeah.
I was in England and they were all supporting Wales because I got them to. Yeah. Right. Okay, number 3 defenders, Anton Ferdinand. Miss.
Miss, yeah. I think has he been lumbered in because of his brother, maybe? Rio, obviously.
Rio's little brother is already tipped as a big England star of the future. Yeah, I don't think he played for England. He's fast, tough. He's tough to shake off the ball and has top quality in the air. He leads by example. He missed a penalty in the cup final 2006 to lose him the cup final. Not a big game player. Right, wicked wingers. So they got Speed Kings and wicked wingers. There we go. Right, Aaron Lennon.
That's really hard.
It is a tough one, actually.
Played for England a lot of times. Played for a lot of different Premier League clubs a lot of times. Quite good for England,
wasn't he? When he played.
Still, he's a footballer, isn't he? Still playing.
Yeah.
I think in the middle.
Yeah. Nani, 19 years old. Sport Lisbon.
Hit. Got a lot of trophies.
He's won the Euros.
Won the Euros. Had a very good career outside the Premier League and within the Premier League. I think he's a hit.
Okay. Gerardo, Atletico Madrid and Spain.
Don't know.
No. So he's going to be a miss. Okay, this one's a bit of a tough one. Lionel Messi.
Probably the biggest hit ever.
Yeah, I don't need to talk about him really. And then these two we both already mentioned. So Wayne Rooney.
Obviously a hit.
And Cesc Fabregas.
And again,
19 at the time.
A hit.
So those three were the world stars anyway, so they're obviously going to be hits because they're already stars at that age. Right, there's one more page. Oh, these are good ones again. Okay, well, we haven't got to talk about this one. This is Cristiano Ronaldo. We know he's a hit. Okay, Kurlan.
Don't remember him.
He was the player, he used to do the seal dribble. He used to run around with the ball on top of his head and he used to dribble it around and get like
on the pitch?
Yeah, that was his thing.
You're going to YouTube that.
There you go. Top skill, the seal dribble.
Crazy.
Miss. Right. Giovanni Dos Santos, already mentioned him as well.
Reece Williams, shout, miss. Based on, again, he'd probably tell his kids he had a good career, but not where he could have been.
Okay. Midfield muscle, Momo Sissoko.
Oh, I liked Momo.
He was a very good player.
Yeah, I think in terms of world star, he's probably a miss. But again,
he lost out because Liverpool signed Mascherano.
Yeah, decent career.
Sort of left, didn't he?
Decent career.
Yeah. He had one of those Edgar Davids glasses for a game.
Yes, yeah.
Interesting with him is my mate Rowan, your mate Rowan actually as well at school. We used to have an argument about him and Diaby, who'd be a better player. And I was, saying Sissoko, and Rowan said Diaby. And arguably both didn't really do much with their careers.
Diaby terrorised by injuries when he pulled out.
Yeah, terrible. Right, John Obi Mikel, 19 years old.
I think hit.
Yeah, that's a hit. Not great player, but consistent.
Very solid for Chelsea at times.
Yeah, Champions League winner. Okay, Fernando Gago.
I don't remember him.
Boca Juniors went to Real Madrid, didn't he?
Probably not where he could have got. So I'd say in the middle. I think obviously signing for Real Madrid's not bad, is it? But
I'm not to say miss. Right, 8 playmakers. Anderson.
Miss based upon the hype.
Rubbish. That's brutal. Jean Moutinho.
Hit.
He's definitely a hit.
Yeah.
Excellent player.
Yeah.
Done very well for Wolves recently, but also done well wherever he's played. Monaco.
Massive signing for Wolves.
Won the Euros. Okay, this is a good one. Johan Gourcuff. He was tipped to be the next Zidane.
Yeah, so in that sense.
The little Zidane in France.
In that sense,
he's a miss, definitely. Right, flying fullbacks. Sergio Ramos. He's done okay with his career.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Of course he has.
Yeah?
Yeah.
A couple of...
Yesterday he was voted as player of the season, player of the year, wasn't he?
I know, I'm not sure why, but
anyway.
all he's won is a World Cup, 2 Euros, about 5 Champions Leagues. Yeah, he's okay. A couple of UEFA Cups.
Not a questionable character, potentially, but...
Yeah, not maybe the nicest of men, especially on the pitch. But, yeah. Right, Mika Richards.
Oh, he was on that show, actually. I was listening to him yesterday.
Yeah, that's right.
End of his career, sadly, I guess, really, isn't it?
He's got to be a miss, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a miss. Sorry, Mika.
He could have been.
Seems like a top bloke.
He was tip wanted to be
huge.
The man.
Yeah, he was. I would sign him as well, actually, if I could.
Because he was a bit of a beast. And the last one, Gareth Bale. 17 years old. Southampton here says teenage sensation Gareth Bale is already a big star for the Saints and a full Welsh international. His left foot is deadly. Watch out for him. Now with Gareth Bale,
flying fullbacks.
Yes, of course. My brother was in school the year above him in school. I remember him talking about him when he was about 10 or no, about 11 when he first went to school. He said, "Oh, this is boy plays Southampton. He's gonna be great," and then turned out to be Wales' greatest player ever, arguably.
Yes.
So he's had a very good career.
Sensational. I mean, I think that probably keeps up our record of 7 shows, 7 Gareth Bale mentions.
At least. There you go. So
what a legend.
There's quite a few hits, quite a few misses there, quite a few in the middle.
Yeah.
Interesting.
This is our era, isn't it? Noughties football is definitely our era.
Noughties, yeah.
Football.
There you go.
Cool. Let's take a break and then we'll come back and I've got a little snippet of a book to read to you.
Fab.
As I watched him giving his interview, some of the bitterness I felt towards him over Bobby Robson's departure welled up inside me. I had seen the semi-final. I had seen how poorly he had performed personally. I thought it was wrong of him to do an interview afterwards in those circumstances. If I don't perform anywhere near my level, I'm certainly not going to talk about what we didn't do as a team. So I got my phone out and texted him. Bleeping typical of you, I texted. Looking at everyone else yet again. You need to look at yourself instead. Your legs are bleeping shot. Concentrate on yourself and let the team take care of itself. I got one back for him straight away. If I ever see you in Newcastle again, he wrote, I'll knock you out. I'm back in Newcastle next week, I texted back. Pop round and say hello. I certainly wasn't scared of him. I've seen his bite. That's an extract from Craig Bellamy's autobiography, Goodfellas. One of my favourite ever autobiographies. Who's he talking about there?
Alan Shearer.
He is talking about Alan Shearer.
Legs are shot. That's what gave it away.
Yeah.
I guess that's 2005's FA Cup semi-final, maybe, something like that.
Yeah, talking about Alan Shearer where they lost 4-1. Obviously, he was playing for Celtic at the time.
Oh, he was on loan, was he, at Celtic?
Yeah. Obviously, if you ever see you back in Newcastle, I'll knock you out.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we'll have a couple more snippets of
Interesting.
that.
Got it, though. That's one point to me.
1 point to you. There's a couple more. I think there's 3 more snippets to come of
I've got a quiz for you as well.
Monsieur Bellamy's autobiography.
Okay, there we go. Well done. Got it. First one.
Lovely. So the next thing we wanted to talk about, and I guess related a little bit to people from long ago, Wonder Kids and whatnot, is the book that we've been sent to review by the wonderful Jonathan Wilson, the author of Inverting the Pyramid, which is a fantastic book about the development of tactics through time. We were sent this book, his new one, about something that we absolutely love ourselves, the Hungarian team of the 50s and 60s.
Mentioned them before on the podcast.
Yeah, it's called The Names Heard Long Ago. His newest book is literally just out this month. We both sent a copy to review.
Got a copy, which is nice, yeah.
And we thought, thank you very much, by the way, to Bold Type Books.
Yeah.
Flown over for us from New York.
Yeah, the text saying your delivery's ready.
From New York. I was like, what?
Yeah.
But anyway, lovely to have this book. So we thought we'd just chat about it because it's a brilliant book and we really both enjoyed the parts of it that we've read. Mm-hmm. So Ben, is there anything in particular that sticks out for you? The Names Heard Long Ago.
For me, it's just very well written. He's clearly taken a long time to research it all. It's amazing to see. Looking in it, all the different newspapers he's used from Hungary. He's found loads of books in Hungary and loads of audio recordings, and he's put them into this book to make a really comprehensive study of this great team. And it's a team that me and you, as you said, love.
Adore.
So it's so nice for us to be able to read about how it came about and how it doesn't just start in the 50s or the 40s. It goes right back to the late Victorians and when football was first introduced to the Austro-Hungarian Empire.
Yeah.
And how through those introductions it completely changed the game and these new tactics emerging over there and how it really brought about this amazing side.
I think that's really important to note as well, isn't it? Because so often, of course, it is because we live in Britain and we talk, how England and Britain at times believe that football has come from them and it's just their game and everything to do with football is to do with Britain. Actually, it's really important to see that throughout the last sort of 2 centuries, football has rightly spread throughout Europe, and each part of Europe has a part to play in the history of the beautiful game, the game that we love, isn't it? Yeah.
And then going right through then, it has all about the important games and the important players and managers and how, training sessions were different to, other teams' training sessions, and this new technology was used to their advantage in terms of football boots and kits and things. And then goes right through and shows about how the team came to an end with, things about the Hungarian uprising in the late 50s. So it really gives a comprehensive study of the wider context around the football team of what was happening in post-war Europe and with communism and the Cold War. And it really does give you an idea of where football's part to play in all it, and how football really does reflect the society in which it's played.
Yeah,
which I think is really nice to see.
Absolutely, a little snippet I like talking about that, the miracle of Bern. Obviously, we've talked about it in the past in 1954, where Hungary make the 1954 World Cup final. Mm-hmm. They lose, even though they're favourites and they've demolished the tournament so far. They lose to Germany, West Germany, and just talk about the impact of it. And how actually that this Hungarian side is never actually seen again. Here you go. Hungary, though, has never come close to those heights again, but also the impact it had on Germany for that victory. The West Germans, Franz Beckenbauer saying, for anybody who grew up in the misery of post-war years, Bern was an extraordinary inspiration. The entire country regained its self-esteem, just showing how important football is, really.
Yeah. to Germany, it was huge, and it put Germany back on a positive map, I guess, because they were not liked after that Second World War, so probably rightly so. But after the show what they could do on the pitch and
to beat that superb Hungarian side was just staggering. Really.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of questions around that game actually as well, isn't there, with the German team and possible doping and stuff. But it makes for a nice story.
It does.
There you go. Really good actually. So hopefully we'll be able to use this quite a bit, to help our own writing and work for the blog and things.
Yeah, and some brilliant pictures in there as well. I'd never before seen pictures actually. So thoroughly recommend. And
at the back, let's have a look. Yeah, I mean, it's a comprehensive bibliography as well, so you see how much the research is done. So yeah, an excellent book. I really would recommend it.
Jonathan Wilson, The Names Heard Long Ago. Go and have a look if you're interested in that Hungarian side, but just generally for a sort of an Eastern European football biography, really. Yeah,
there you go. So fantastic book. We did actually get one other book as well, didn't we? So we might review that next podcast about Everton. Everton in the 1960s. So we'll do that one as well.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Fantastic.
Okay, I'll give you another snippet, then we'll have another break, another snippet of Bellamy's book. Have another break, and then we'll come back to some quiz time. Okay, here we go. This is funny.
Okay.
I wanted to wind, and I'm going to blank the player's name here. So I wanted to wind blank up a bit. He tried it on with me once or twice in training. He'd give me a little nudge in the back. The kind of thing. I just look at him and think, get lost, Ginge.
I sort of gives it away. Can't keep going.
Yeah. So we go round to the room, and I knocked on the door. There was no answer. I knocked again, and still no answer. I texted Daniel Aga, again, and made sure that it was the right room. He said it was. So I tried the door, and it was open. I let myself in and turned the light on. Ginge was in bed. He was facing away from me, covering his eyes with his hands because of the light that had been switched on. I just whacked him across the backside with a club. You couldn't really call it a swing. It was more a thwack, really. If I'd taken a proper swing, I would have hit the ceiling with my backlift. Finney, by the way, was hiding behind the door at that point. Ginge panicked. He curled up inside a ball. He curled up in a ball with the blanket. If you ever speak to me like that again in front of people, I'll wrap this around your head.
Wow. John and I recently talked about. I mean, he sounds like a lovely fella, doesn't he, Craig Bellamy?
Yeah, that title, that chapter is entitled Spanish Golf.
Yeah, very, very infamous story. And of course, both players then scored, didn't they?
And they celebrated by doing the golf club celebrations, didn't he? Interestingly, it's quite funny that because Jerzy Dudek apparently that night was also arrested.
Yeah.
For causing havoc in a bar, and he said that he got off. Bellamy got off with sort of just a bit of a slap on the wrist because Dudek had taken it away from him.
I've read Dudek. It's quite a bit of a infamous golf trip for more than just the golf clubs. But then they did beat Barcelona at the Nou Camp straight after. So
so maybe it worked. Team bonding.
Team bonding. Yeah.
Lovely. Okay, let's have another break and we'll have some quizzes.
So this is a new quiz. So I was shopping the other day with my girlfriend and found a book in a shop I wasn't expecting to find it in. It's like a home kind of shop. And it was the Strangest Football Quiz Book.
Sounds good.
$6.99. I thought, I'm in. I'm buying it.
If you were just running out of questions, weren't you?
Yeah, I had ran out of questions, but I've now got a whole book. But what's good about these? They have a little bit of a story first, and then they go to the question. Okay, so I'll start off with this one. When Liverpool played AC Milan in the 2005 Champions League final, it looked all over when the Reds were 3-0 down at half-time. Then, Liverpool staged a remarkable comeback, and the score was 3-3 after an hour. Extra time was played, and kicks from the penalty mark were taken, and Liverpool won those 3-2. After the late kick-off to the match and the slow trip to Istanbul, it wasn't until early morning that Liverpool fans arrived at the airport. One teenager sprinted out to arrivals, and a journalist shouted, "Tell me what it was like in Istanbul." "I'd love to tell you, la," said the young man, "but I got my chemistry A-level in 10 minutes. That's a little spiel. Okay, Liverpool play in red shirts and Everton in blue shirts. But what colour are the wheelie bins in Merseyside?
Black and green, like Cardiff.
Black and green you're going for, okay. Shall I tell you at the end? I'll tell you now.
Okay.
I'll tell you now. Right, black and green is your answer. The actual answer is purple. Purple bins.
Okay.
There you go. Bit of red and blue together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Right, next question. Okay. This is a multiple choice one, which is always nice. On April 26th, 2003, a match between Tranmere Rovers and Mansfield Town was abandoned at half-time because a spectator climbed onto one of the floodlight pylons. He jumped the gap from the floodlight pylon to the roof of the cow shed end, and then he didn't know what to do. 7,000 spectators were asked to leave at half-time, and the referee abandoned the match. In court, the climber pleaded guilty to a charge of drunk and disorderly behaviour. How much was his fine? Was it £200, £400, £600, or £800?
Probably. I mean, caused havoc by the sound of it. Let's go £600.
£400 was the answer. Close. You're only £200 off. Okay, next question. So these are obviously a lot harder than the usual. but that's why it's called the strange pub quiz question. Okay. He played in 3 youth teams in the East Midlands and then in the professional game as a central defender and later as a central striker. He joined United in a university city, and at the end of the 1989-90 season, he was the first player ever to score in a Wembley playoff final. In his 20-year career, he played over 600 games with 7 different clubs and scored nearly 200 goals. He broke his leg in September 92 and his neck in December 99. He carried on until his bones started to talk to him. He also presents a daytime television programme. Who is he?
A daytime television programme?
Yeah, it's a good programme. He's very good in it as well.
Oh. Dion Dublin? He's home to Downward.
Correct. It is Dion Dublin.
Oh,
yeah.
brilliant.
I think it was Oxford City, wasn't it? He went to play for Oxford United, sorry. Yeah, well done. That's a question right there.
Yeah, great. Love him on them. Homes and Hammer. Good.
He's good. I like it.
There's a funny video of him saying, there's the stairs up to the bedroom. And now you think that's really innocuous, but there is literally this compilation of, obviously that's his phrase, he just says, of every house he goes into, he goes,
really?
There's the stairs up to the bedroom.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Love that. You also invented an instrument.
The dube.
Yeah. So other instruments are available. Right, so you go.
Multi-talented.
Let's have a look. Okay. One contender for the most red cards in a match was Ricky Broadley from Mountain Rangers in a Saiflu Carnarvon and District League Cup tie against, this is a long Welsh word, Penrhyn Daidraith in January 2010. In the 64th minute, the referee was about to caution 2 opponents when Broadley stamped on one of the players. That brought a red card. Then, Broadley threw water at the referee for a second red card, and his third red card was for foul and abusive language. A threat against the referee in the clubhouse caused a further charge. Broadley had already been banned from Sunday football for life, and now he faced a 2-year ban from Saturday football. There's a little bit of spiel there. Okay. Curtis Woodhouse won 4 England under-21 caps, but he retired from full-time football when he was 26. What other sport did he take up? So I imagine it's something to do with that. The violent nature of the question of the paragraph before.
Yeah, it sounds like boxing or mixed martial arts, maybe. It's probably something soft, like golf, isn't it? Not that golf's soft, I love golf, but softer than fighting. Go boxing.
Correct, boxing. Well done.
He sounds a bit of a hard man.
Sounds like a great story. Ricky Broadley, if you're listening, give it a shout out. There you go. 3 red cards in the game.
That's crazy.
That's mad.
I didn't think you could send someone off 3 times.
No, neither did I. But he was. I don't know, maybe you're not, but the referee...
Maybe it's a little bit like...
Get off.
Yeah, as a teacher, when you lose your wits end and you just kept showing the red card.
So it sounds like if you want a bit of feisty action, the Carnarvon and District League Cup is where to get it. Okay, right, last question. You got 2 out of 4 so far. That's quite impressive. Right. Where is it? Where's it gone? Okay. Goalkeepers are allowed to take penalty kicks. Ernie Scattergood scored 3 out of 3 for Derby County in 1913-14 and took them from Bradford Park Avenue in 1921-22 until South Shields goalkeeper Willis Walker saved one. Goalkeepers kick a lot of stationary balls, like goal kicks, and have faced plenty of penalties themselves. Goalkeepers Arthur Birch and Fred Craig each scored 5 penalties in the 1920s. Coventry City's fullback and penalty taker Roy Kirk, deputising in goal for the injured Jim Sanders, took one against Aldershot in 1958. Kirk shot over the bar, but the crowd held on to the ball and stopped Aldershot taking a quick goal kick. Which player from the south of England won 8 England caps and converted 47 out of 48 penalty kicks?
Tell you who's very good at penalties was Peter Whittingham. But
did he win 8 England caps?
He didn't win 8 England caps. But he only ever missed 1 penalty for Cardiff, and he probably took about 40 odd. Anderton? No, he got more than 8, didn't he?
47 out of 48 penalty kicks, yeah. Think of someone who was a genuine penalty kick taker who's known for it.
Okay.
It's the same era as Anderton. Ish. Pretty much, yeah.
Let's go with... No, I don't know.
Shall I give you a clue?
Yeah.
Gillette Soccer Saturday.
Paul Merson.
Don't just say the first thing that comes to your head. Have a think about it.
Oh, yeah, I know. Manatis, yeah.
Yeah, Manatis, yeah. There you go.
Only 8 caps.
I'll give you no marks that one. Right, 2 out of 5. Only 8 caps, yeah. It's a bit of a scandal, really. But that's quite a good little quiz there, because it has a little bit of history in there too, which is quite nice. And that's what we're all about.
Love it.
Right.
One more quote. Well, 2 more. We've got one more now for you from Benny's autobiography. Here we go. Okay. I'm going to give you 2 names. Who's the third name?
Okay.
We had some very good players at City, but we were inconsistent. I saw the problem straight away. It was Robinho and Blanc. And a centre-back called Glauber, who I don't even remember. A centre-back who only played once for City. They'd formed a Brazilian clique, and as far as I could see, they didn't care. They didn't train with any intensity, and if you tackled one of them, it was like you committed a crime. It was the 3 of them. They were glued together. Blanc was the voice. Robinho was the shakes man. If you had a problem with Robinho, take it to the shake.
Take it to the shake.
Yeah.
Love that.
Blanc would always say that if Robinho wanted something, he got it. That was his boast. If you had words with Blanc, he would tell Robinho, and then Robinho would tell the shake. That was what Blanc said.
So, the Brazilian players, are they?
Yeah.
Oh, this is Man City.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I thought it was Cardiff City.
Yeah, no,
Robinho. I
Robinho.
think Robinho didn't play for Cardiff. Elano?
Yeah, Elano.
There you go.
Elano.
He was quite a good player, him.
Brilliant. Shall we do Guess the Year?
Yeah, I think what we should do is each week is choose a different autobiography from a different player and do the same thing. Because I've got, as you can see, the bookcase next to us, we've got a few there and we've got quite a lot downstairs as well. So, and you've probably got quite a few yourself. Yeah. That sounds like a good little plan. There you go. 3 out of 3. Lovely. Right, Guess the Year. Let's go.
Okay, Guess the Year.
Okay, I'm going to sit back for this.
Matchbox toy cars are introduced by Lesney Products of London.
Okay. Well, I was always a Hot Wheels man myself. Matchbox. Yeah. I reckon they're probably a bit older. 1937.
Okay. First Italian espresso coffee bar opens in the UK. It's called The Mocha in Firth Street, Soho, London.
1952.
4th March. Tommy Taylor, 21-year-old centre forward, becomes Britain's most expensive footballer for just under £30,000.
1937. I'm going back to the first one.
Okay. 25th of April, Francis Crick and James Watson published their description of the double helix structure of DNA in the paper Molecular Structure of Nucleic Acids.
Flipping it. DNA.
When was DNA announced?
£30,000. Espresso bar. Matchbox. 1923.
Okay. 9th of November, this will help you. Dylan Thomas, Welsh poet and author, dies.
Dies? Oh, Christ.
Politician Diane Abbott and Graham Souness are born.
Oh, DNA's not that old then. Diane Abbott.
Well,
she must
old.
be about.
Just
I actually never guess ages.
You can guess Graham Souness' age.
Souness about 50 odd, isn't he? Maybe 60. What was my second one? 1952. No, he's not as old as that. 1958.
Okay. Ian Fleming publishes the first James Bond novel, Casino Royale.
56.
On the 5th of February, rationing of sweets ends. So rationing, obviously introduced in the Second World War, ends in Britain. Rationing of sweets.
4.
Final one. England versus Hungary at Wembley Stadium. 53. 6-3 defeat. England's first ever defeat against a side outside the British Isles.
So I said 52, didn't I?
Yeah.
So I was a year off my second guess. Which one was that? Matchbox? No.
No, the first Italian. You know your espresso bars, do you?
Yeah, I was thinking after Second World War, a bit more globalisation, commercialism, Western things. I thought, yeah. And 50 is quite big to immigration, wasn't it, in Britain? So
yes.
Yeah. There you go.
Well done. Okay, final Bellamy quote. I thought you'd get that sooner, actually, but I'm glad it confused you. Yes, you should. Okay, here we go. Again, I'm going to blank the players' names. So, Blank's problems with gambling are well known, but now he was so caught up in his betting that he'd be pawning over his phone at half-time in matches to check how his wages had fared. Once during the match against Bristol City at Ashton Gate on New Year's Day, one of the coaches hid his phone because they wanted him to concentrate on the half-time team talk. When he came in at the interval, he couldn't find it. He went mad. He said he wasn't going to go out for the second half until he found it. And he meant it. I was looking at the scene unfolding thinking, what the heck is going on here?
That's quite a sad story.
Really sad, isn't
it? Any more context you can give me as a clue?
Cardiff City.
Cardiff City. Any sort of year?
So the first time he joined us, it was...
So around the turn of the decade, was it?
Yes.
Summer Dixie Gambling.
Dave Jones was the manager.
Okay. Let me think of some of these Cardiff players.
You'll know it when it's...
Right. It won't be Whittingham, will it?
No.
He's quite clean,
yeah.
I think. But it's well documented.
Yeah.
Would I have read about this myself?
Yeah, interesting. A little bit more context. When he transferred, reportedly, certainly anyway, when he transferred from to Cardiff, Cardiff actually, as part of his signing-on bonus, paid off some of his gambling debt.
Really?
Yeah. He's really caught up in it.
Something you get Chopra. He was there, wasn't he? Ross McCormack.
No, the other one, Michael Chopra.
Was that Chopra?
Yeah, Chopra. Yeah, really sad story. Obviously, he moved about quite a lot, and he moved back to Cardiff actually because that's where he sort of felt safe away from gambling. I think when he lived in Sunderland, he got really, really caught up with it. It's quite sad.
There's another young gun who didn't quite fulfil,
but it was phenomenal for Cardiff.
Very good.
One of my
good championship player.
One of my favourite all-time players.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. Good.
Brilliant.
Who should we do next week? Stevie G. Not a good one.
I think he's a good autobiography, isn't he?
Yeah. There you go.
There's some classics. Yeah. Brilliant. Thank you very much for listening today. I hope you've enjoyed.
I've enjoyed, yeah. Have you enjoyed?
I have really enjoyed.
As the listeners enjoyed.
Yeah.
If you have or haven't, get in touch with us.
So on Twitter @TFHBS.
Send us an email to thefootballhistoryboys@hotmail.com.
Or look us up on Facebook The Football History Boys.
There we go. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Gareth. That's an excellent show. And we'll
see you again soon. Goodbye.
Thank you.